Hello, welcome. Today I'm very excited to bring to you the end of my journey for the perfect summer fragrance for this high summer heat in Florida. Now, what did I end up going with and what were some of the contenders that were up against it? Let's dive into it. So things that I was looking out for the perfect tropical summer fragrance for this high, humid heat in Florida was good performance, something that can cut through the thickness of the humidity, and something that was different and unique. So I was looking for something maybe a little bit more exotic, like passion fruit, maybe some mango, or something that you don't normally smell with the blend of different citruses that are pretty common throughout the year. First of all, none of this would have been possible without the opportunity to sample these fragrances. So no sponsorship to the channel or anything like that, but I did end up getting all of my samples through ScentSplit, and every decision I made was based off of different notes that I found myself liking and I wanted to lean towards, and different reviews that I saw other people talk about, either be it on YouTube, TikTok, or other social media. So, was it Summer Hammer by Lorenzo Pazzalia? It was not. Though I did enjoy it, I didn't really find it masculine enough for me. It reminded me a lot of Chanel Allure Pour Femme with a little bit more of like a tropical vibe. It was very unisex and didn't really, scream to me. It has a great performance, but here in Florida, where I'm located in Tallahassee, it is extremely humid, and I really wanted something to punch and cut through the humidity and the high heat, so it was a no for me. Also from the house of Lorenzo Pazzalia, was it Sangria? It was not. So Sangria had a really weird vibe with me, where I was immediately hit with what I would imagine to be like a fruit punch Smartie. It was very like powdery, musky. It almost reminded me of like a fruit punch flavored like dental fluoride that I used to have and hold in my mouth when I was a kid getting dental cleanings. Another way I would kind of describe it, it's kind of like a chalky, almost like a cough syrup, like Benadryl or something like that. Also a good performer, but again, that kind of candied sweetness I wasn't a big fan of in the high summer heat here in Florida. I will say though, it did have a very interesting dry down where some of that wine started to come through. Remind me a little bit of Burberry London. It's kind of like the closest thing I can think of that has a little bit of a wine note in it, just mixed with a bunch of kind of like powdery, sweet fruits. I can smell it from here and it smells exactly like a fruit punch Smartie. Was it the Mango Aventus from Mind Games, the old Blockade? It wasn't. As much as I wanted to like Blockade, it opened up exactly how you would think. Everyone describes it as basically just Aventus, but with like a mango touch. And it definitely was, but then it started to dry down very quickly. Doesn't really have a great performance, very similar to Aventus. And it kind of dried down to like almost like a mango. I know I'm probably using like sweet tarts or Smarties a lot, but it almost reminded me of kind of like a mango sweet tart, if you could imagine that. It was good, but for the performance and the price, it's not $450 good. So it was not Blockade. Was it Don't Ask, Don't Tell by Simone Andrioli? It was not. A lot of notes from this stuck out to me that looked like it could be very good. And what it really came down to was a lot of like a creamy papaya, almost reminded me of like a Hawaiian Touch sunscreen vibe with heliotrope, which it's not bad, it just wasn't for me. And it leans more unisex. Not necessarily fully feminine, but just something that I wasn't a big fan of for myself. Was it the Tropical Colada from Kajal? It was also not. So what Colada kind of reminded me of was similar to how Sangria performed with Lorenzo Pazzalia. It was, instead of like a very like fruity sangria like cherry vibe, it was more so of like a pure pina colada. You don't really get a whole lot of pineapple, just like a little hint. It was mostly kind of like a creamy vanilla and coconut. Still very good, but it was still a little bit thicker for my taste for this, high dense humidity in Florida. Was it God of Fire by Stephane Humbert Lucas? It was not. Though it is very good. It opens up almost like a mango take of Elysium by Rajadov. and it starts getting a little bit sour a couple hours in. And then when it dries down, it reminded me a lot of the Javanol dry down of Bergamask, which is kind of like a sandalwood molecule that has a little bit of like a potato chip vibe. And personally, it just wasn't for me. Was it Malibu Party at the Bay by Simone Andreoli? Almost. It's a little too common with kind of the citrus kind of lime vibe. If you haven't heard about this, it is very similar to Virgin Island water, though when worn side by side, this is a little bit more effervescent and musky, but the performance is like twice or three times that of Virgin Island water. But it just was a little too mundane and run-of-the-mill for the tropical vibe I was looking for. Still very good. I still plan on getting a full bottle of this. As you can tell, I upgraded with multiple samples, getting kind of like the larger size. But I think this is going to be better for if I ever like take vacation to like an island or something like that. Was it Serdal Cruise 2 by Zerjov? I wanted it to be, and a lot of people kind of said that it was like a mango drink or like a spiced mango drink, and it was a spiced mango at like first sniff, like right in the opening. But something that I noticed with it and a bunch of other mango heavy scents is they become very lactonic or creamy, which if that's your thing, that might be for you. Personally for me, especially with like the high dense humidity here in Florida, something about that lactonic vibe, it reminds me of like spoiled or sour milk, and it just wasn't for me. Was it Mango Oud by Gritty? It came close. The very first day that I wore this, I pulled a compliment as soon as I walked into work. Something about Mango Oud is that it is combined with this oud that reminds me a lot of what you can find in Tobacco Oud by Tom Ford, where it's got like a very kind of like sticky, resinous, slightly funky vibe to it. Not necessarily fecal, but it's got a little funk to it. And it turns into this very kind of creamy, almost leaning more like tropical coconut, but it's very smoky. If I had to describe it, it would be like walking into like almost like an incense shop that had like a very like mango resinous incense that was burning. The performance on it, amazing. Lasts all day. Sillage is great, but it's a little too sticky and smoky for me, but it came very close. Was it Icon by Kajal? Very close. Icon opens up with that spice, passion fruit, mango that I was kind of looking for. Has a little bit of a spice, peppery, and creamy vibe. I know a lot of people probably won't agree with me, but what it reminds me of, what Laden by Parfums de Marly is for fall and winter, Icon is the perfect variation of that to spring and summer. It is basically a more tropical, fruity version of Laden. It does lean unisex, and I think this would smell amazing on a woman. I think I would prefer it smelling it on a lady. You can still wear it just as well as a guy, but it just didn't quite cut it for me. It came very close though. Was it Passion Island by May Bisu? It came so close. This is probably the most photorealistic passion fruit I've ever come across, and it blends with like this mix of not orange, like I think a note on it is tangerine. You get a little bit of mango, you get pineapple. It's almost like if you took a bowl of passion fruit, pineapple, and tangerines is what it smells like. It is so, the performance on it, amazing. That passion fruit cuts straight through the heat. The only downside, it does start becoming a little bit lactonic towards the end. Probably about like 5-6 hours in. It smells kind of creamy, not enough to where it reminds me of spoiled milk, but still, I'm not the biggest fan of that lactonic vibe. It was so close. Probably asking yourself, well, what was it? What was it? You really want to know? You really want to know what's in here? I ended up going with Soleil de Jeddah Mango Kiss by Stephane Humbert Lucas. Let's talk about it. This was love at first sniff. This was, when I first smelled it, everything that I was looking for. It was opened up with a very kind of bitter green mango, which is exactly part of that tropical note that I was looking for. And it's, I don't know if you can see the packaging on this. This is actually my first Stephane Humbert Lucas. So I want to open this bad boy up. A little bit of gravity failed us, but see if I can, look at that bottle. It's got that gold kind of orange mango touch, and it's got a little bit of a blue jewel in the middle. I don't know if you can see that or not. And this thing opens up with a bitter kind of green mango, kind of like an unripened mango. And then it gets kind of like these spices in it. Oh, that's amazing. This is actually everything that I wanted Mango Oud by Gritty to be. It's a fresher take, it's less sticky, less resinous. It's got a little bit of like a musk in the background. Oh my god. And then it has a little bit of like a coconut and like a vanilla to it. It is not lactonic at all. It's actually got a little bit of a floral note. I think it's chamomile that's listed in here, but it's so good. It cuts through the heat. It performs. It lasts all day. It'll last me a full like 10-hour day at work. And then going into the gym, it remains kind of like a skin scent at the gym, but still amazing. Not a whole lot of people talk about this. A lot of people usually hype up its, other brother, God of Fire. But this one, when I smelled it, I knew right away. So yeah, this is going to be exactly what I'm rocking during the summer and this high, humid Florida heat. So yeah, let me know what you guys think if you've ever tried this, and let me know, what are you guys wearing? Am I missing out? Is there something that you think may perform a little better during this summer? So yeah, love to hear what you guys think. I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.